Welcome. You might think the backdrop's not the usual allotment scene. Well, you're quite right, because today I'm going to take you around the RHS Malvern Spring Festival.
We're selling some of these sales plants if you want to know what. Let's just see, I think we're blue
not all of them. Some there like centuries. Yeah, I'll do that for you. No,
This stall there is Blom's. I think they've been going since mid 1800s, and they're probably the best tulip growers I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Have a nice.
That's quite nice.
Down the outside, you can walk over. Variety, really good.
Bumped into a chap.
right, okay.
Bumped into a chap who you might know. It's Chris Collins. He's well famous. He's a Blue Peter gardener for a long while. He was a gardener, I think, at Westminster Abbey. Is that right, Chris?
Yes, that's right.
And he's been all over the world, so you might have a quick word with him.
Hello everybody, good, I'm very well, thank you. Hello to everyone at MuddyBootz. Really nice to stop and have a quick chat here. Thank you very much for the introduction. Obviously I'm a gardener who likes to get as many people as I can gardening, so that's why I go out into schools. I kind of see gardening as a social adhesive, if you like. It brings us all together, gets us chatting, and also it makes our environment a lot of nice places to live. So I love all the work you're doing, I love the work that YouTube station is doing. Please keep it up, and if you want to get in touch, please do. We'll cross over YouTube channels and listen up.
Tell us about your horticultural design business, Chris.
Yeah, so I do run Collins Horticulture Limited, which is a very varied game. I built a couple of gardens recently, which is hands-on. I do the design, I actually build them as well. I've still got the strength in my body, I still like to be. But I've also done, last year, 240 schools. So I go in and I basically teach, I set up small gardens, growing, give them some encouragement, workshops, a lot of workshops. Also to the industry, to caterers, to teaching assistants. And then also I find a bit of time for the odd bit of telly and a bit of writing as well.
When we get some more programmes you did like on 8 to 9 years ago.
Yes, yeah. Well, I did the Plantsman. I did some stuff for BBC 4 a couple of years ago. You never know when the wind's going to blow your way when it comes to TV. I'm actually doing a lot of stuff outside of it, really. Like I've just done a cartoon Chris, so it's me and a little cartoon version of myself, and that's about edible hanging baskets and propagation. So I do a lot of stuff off the mainstream, but I'm sure I'll be back. I'm doing a garden at Hampton Court with Raymond Blanc in July, and that's about kids gardening as well. Henry Leworm Garden, and I'm sure I'll make an appearance on the Hampton Court programme then.
Thank you very much, Chris. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Brilliant,
Cheers.
thank you. All the best.
Next batch will be available in about 4 weeks. Say avalanche, we can make it. That's all you've got to say.
No justice in this world.
That's all they say.
It's all right, it's really good, but it's just not, it doesn't do the job.
Right. Where are you based?
Hanbury, Worcestershire.
What's the letter?
Yeah?
Red dreams. Just explain the first thing. They do all the heavy they have really shiny
Have a look, £5 a piece in all your baskets there now, girls. Clearing them all up now, yeah, take your pick. Only, oh, look at these now, we've got your laundries here and all.
You have done well.
And the guy who runs this, John Matthews, just have a quick chat with him. What John does, he buys the tools, restores them back to near mint condition, and I've bought a few off him in the past and very happy with him. Just have a chat with John when he's available.
Yes.
Hello there.
How you doing, John?
Fine, thanks.
How's business today at the show?
It's not too bad. Keeps tittling along. We're happy.
Just for the viewers on YouTube, will you tell them briefly what you do with the tools, how you restore them and that?
Well, what we do is we go around and find these old tools and then breathe new life into them. So as the quality of them, the good old British steel, can carry on and give people good use.
And the name of a few tools which have now long since gone, but I'm still actually working.
Well, I have a preference for some of the old black country companies like Elwell and Braids, but there's a lot from Sheffield as well, Skeltons and Ward and Payne and Spear and Jackson, all producing lots of good quality tools.
What sort of age are the tools that you actually restore?
The most of them are sort of between the 20s and 30s, but we get tools as early as the late Victorian period, and we're right up to about the mid-1970s when the steel is still good quality.
Right. Just one last thing, John. Just tell the viewers about your company and the website where they can find you at.
Right, well, we're the Vintage Garden Store, and our website is www.thevintagegardenstore.com. and you can have a look on there and see if there's anything you fancy.
That's great. And what garden shows do you visit during the year if people want to call
Well,
in?
our next show will be up at RHS Tatton, and then we're up in Harrogate where we do the spring and autumn show in Harrogate and the spring and autumn show here at Malvern.
That's great. Thank you for your time, John.
You're welcome.
Enjoy the show.
All the best.
Right.
Hello.
Hello, Carol.
So, if you possibly can, I think also the texture of the soil is very important, don't you? Leaf mould's brilliant. Have you got leaf mould? Yep. Lots of stones. Don't grow aces. There are there are so many other beautiful things that you can grow in their stead. Or, go the whole hog, separate a bit of the garden, make yourself a Japanese garden, put a wall around it so it gets lots of shelter. No, in which case, leave aces out of it. I mean, you do see them growing in pots a lot, and they are plants which will tolerate, because they have these fine, fibrous roots, and they'll tolerate actually being potted and repotted. And if you're doing that, I'd make a mix of ericaceous soil or ericaceous compost with some loam, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Some John Innes and
they do need
green
some shelter is one major thing, and they do need to be constantly moist. Up in the Cotswolds, very free draining off, and as soon as they get slightly too dry, it's just going up as well.
Yeah.
He's the Compost King. He's another black country bloke. And I'll put a link to his video on YouTube, how to make the best compost, but I'm just going to ask him a few words now about our allotment where we're having a problem with club root. And his name's Mick Poultney. I'll just put you around now. Hello, Mick.
How do?
On our side, we've been in Wolverhampton. We've been struggling really with club root, and previous years we've always used the dosing of our Millitox.
Yeah.
Well, that seems to have gone out by the wayside now. So, how do you reckon preparing the soil now for your brassicas?
On our allotment site, because our allotment slopes that road and that road. Luckily, I'm on the slope. Club root is prone to damp soil. Now, where the road levels off around the bottom and the allotments go flat, they're prone to wetter soil than what we are, and they get more club root than us. Now there's a bloke right on the corner, so he's right at the bottom of this slope, and he ain't been able to grow any brassica for yonks until they bought out Pilca.
And how do you get on? Do you lime a lot, do you?
The only time I've ever limed is with a fishful of lime in a hole for a brassica.
That's at the planting stage?
Yeah. But if you've got club root, and if you've got it anyway, if you can get hold of Pilca.
What's that?
It's high nitrogen feed, comes from Germany.
Right.
But the farmers down south, well, most of the farmers now, they use it, and you can grow brassicas even if your soil is prone to club root and you've got it. You can still grow your greens and get
That's great.
You still might get the knuckles of club root on your root, but you can still get a top. And it's that good. I'll buy it bulk now for our trading sheds.
And
just put Pilca on the internet. There's a place down south you can get it from.
That's good. And there's a lot of Midlanders on YouTube on this gardening channel. Do you think we've passed the frost date yet for the Midlands?
Good, I hope so.
Yeah.
We pay our rates in our colleague that we've had more frost.
And you mentioned there, which surprised me really, on about making compost, comfrey tea. And you said not to use rainwater, not to use tap water.
No, that was crap in tap water.
So just use.
Because I make my own compost tea. If you make good compost, you can make compost tea. Like you can get an air brick.
Yeah.
You've got to use rainwater, otherwise tap water will kill the good bacteria.
Do you ever compost the comfrey leaves and just get the pure juice out?
I used to do that years ago, nettles and comfrey.
Yeah.
That's a good feed.
And do the nettles give the same, is it the same nitrogen or is that?
It's high nitrogen rate. Comfrey's better than nettles.
Okay then, that's Mick Poultney then. All the best, Mick. Thank you very much for your time. Cheers. It's 5:30, the shower's almost shut and we're bushwhacked. Spent a few quid, just went for the drive home now and nice to do. So until the next time, see you later. Bye.